Welcome to the demo of DocuWare's Connect to SAP module. In this video, we'll show how leveraging DocuWare makes life easier for your Accounts Payable team by collecting the items for a PO-based invoice packet and syncing with SAP. We'll collect 4 pieces of information in the process. First, the purchase order. Second, an email correspondence that contains essential information. Third, the packing slip. And finally, the invoice. Let's start in SAP to generate the purchase order. The user experience is exactly the same for the purchaser. All they have to do is hit save and SAP will run its normal outputs. DocuWare then archives the purchase order automatically with all of the necessary indexing data. The same purchase order is accessible through the attachment list in SAP. Recording client and vendor correspondence is now very simple. In this example, we want to store an email that contains the terms for a transaction with the other documentation. Since we can leverage all of DocuWare's features, we can use DocuWare's Connect to Outlook to push an email into DocuWare with the click of a button. All we need is one indexing field to link it to the rest of the transaction documents in SAP. The third piece of information in our example is the packing slip. This document is going to be captured when the receiving department scans it directly into the system. The document gets linked to the transaction via barcoding. Connect to SAP automatically places the document on the attachment list for the goods receipt. By linking the packing slip via the barcode, it will also link to the attachment list for the purchase order in SAP. One instance of the document in DocuWare can be linked to as many places as you need it in SAP. This eliminates any filing backlogs receiving departments can experience during busy times. Lastly, we need to process the invoice for the purchase order. When we store the invoice, the Connect to SAP module will do 4 things. It will go to SAP to find the line items on the purchase order, check to see what has been received, check to see what has already been invoiced, returns back any open line items, and determines if a 3-way match was completed. The AP analyst can now review all the information and make any needed adjustments inside of DocuWare without having to bounce back to SAP. The analyst can now choose to park or post the invoice to SAP. The invoice will show up on the completed list after the data has been pushed to SAP. When you go to the record in SAP, you can see that the line items were mapped over. Lastly, if you want to see all 4 of the related documents, you can view the attachment list inside of the SAP purchase order, as well as in DocuWare. In DocuWare, you can pull up any of the documents and use the Related tab to pull up the same list. The purchase order, the terms email, the packing slip, and the invoice are all there.